Welcome Amakhosi Network, welcome to the channel. Amakhosi, Kaizer Chiefs, beat Richards Bay, and yeah, we get the 3 points, we keep moving up the log. It's good times, it's good times, it's good times, but I will still say this. I am not sure about what I'm seeing. Like, I'm not comfortable. But before we get into that, please subscribe, join the channel. Your comments are important. We love every interaction we get to make in the channel. So please continue to like, subscribe, and join. Become a member. It's 20 bucks. But let's get into this game, guys. So, and yeah, please, guys, join. It helps us grow the channel. We're growing here. But yeah, let's get into this game. Guys, I'm going to, first, let me give you my heartfelt opinion about the game. My heartfelt opinion about the game is that I am on one hand happy that we have 3 points, and I'm trying to be as positive as I can to only look at that part to say, yeah, we have 3 points, and it's better than this football that we're playing where we sometimes have decent games, but like we still lose. So it's like now we getting the points, ne? But we are not convincing in how we get the points. What do I mean we are not convincing? First half, let's ask ourselves, was Chiefs meant to be leading, or was it Richards Bay? It was Richards Bay. Why am I saying this? Because this first half is carbon copy of the Polokwane City first half. Polokwane City first half, these guys had 2 shots at goal where they were supposed to score those chances, but they didn't. In this game, same story. Richards Bay had good chances in the first half where there was just Vuma in the place or good defending for Abom Simango, etc. So this is my thing, guys. I watched the first 35 minutes, and the question I had in my head was, we are playing nonsense. The first 35 minutes, we were playing nonsense. When I say nonsense, I'm like, the amount of balls Matt lost, like this Matt that I saw today, reminds me exactly of the Matt that we used to see with Molefe and Tsek. Yo, guys, sometimes I praise Matt not against Polokwane City, but the games before that of how he played. And I honestly thought Kevin Johnson is bringing the best out of Matt. But one thing I have realized right now is that if Kaizer Chiefs, our team, does not solve this problem of Matt, we will never contend for a league title. I am sorry to say this. I don't care what anyone says and whatever. But this problem of Matt is going to cost us games, guys. Because Matt is a good defender, but the amount of balls this guy loses, I cannot even. It blows my mind that this guy is a midfielder. It blows my mind. Guti. Sometimes me, I also used to play soccer in my days. I'm not gonna say I was the best player, but guys, you get the ball and then you have to pass your player. You pass it short. The player is now fighting for a ball where he shouldn't be fighting, because Matt has the ball. Instead of passing his player, he passes it halfway. Then his player's like, how Matt young cost. Then it's like, how Matt. Now the player is fighting with an opponent, whereas Matt had the ball. You know what? I don't want to be negative. We got 3 points, but there's so many issues in this game that I saw. Another issue I saw in this game is Gonzalez. I don't know. Actually, there are 2 players I'm going to highlight in this game. And one of them, I know a lot of you aren't going to want to listen to me, because one of them scored the goals. And you guys are going to be happy that he scored. He's a scorer. Let me tell you guys, watch this game again and realize that Ungobo is also costing us. Unkosimpile Ngobo is costing us the midfield. What do I mean that Unkosimpile Ngobo is costing us the midfield? Unkosimpile Ngobo does not take ownership of the midfield. Unkosimpile Ngobo does not make the midfield his. What do I mean make the midfield his? Remember players like Usimphiwe Shabalala. Remember players like Yeye. Remember players like Tiko Modise. Right now, Themba Zwane. Like, these are players that they take control of the midfield. And you know what's worse today? When I saw how they were playing, they made Unkosimpile Ngobo play a number 10, protected by Matt and Castillo. But Ngobo Besides those few moments where he found pockets, he was disappearing or playing safe. Ungobo in the first 35 minutes would get the ball and play backwards. Or get the ball, run, run, run. Then when you're like, you see Ungobo is running back. So he's not trying to find the players. And I was like, Ungobo, you know what? I love the boy and I know the boy has a lot of talent. But something is wrong with him, and I don't care whether he scored the goal, etc. I don't care. I'm going to tell you guys what I think. Ungobo is a big problem in our midfield. If Ngobo does not take ownership of the midfield, we're going to lose a lot of games, because in this game, when Matt loses all these balls and when Ngobo does not take ownership of the midfield, and Castillo is not an ownership midfield. Castillo is more of a box to box, but he doesn't own the box like about Andy Lejai. He doesn't own the midfield. He just operates in the midfield. So if we have a player like Matt losing the balls and a player like Ngobo losing the ball, we give a team like Richards Bay who have no midfielders. We give them strength in thinking that they have midfielders. Today I watched Richards Bay play so many good passes. I was like, are these guys playing good passes because they're playing Chiefs, or is it us? We are allowing it to happen. And the verdict is that it's Kaizer Chiefs that is allowing it to happen. Gonzalez. Now let me address this Gonzalez issue. I am going to start by saying this. I have nothing against Gonzalez. I have nothing against anyone, but I will say this. Whoever scouted Gonzalez is not a good scout. Whoever scouted Gonzalez is a very, very bad scout, especially for someone who is going to scout players in South America. Whoever scouted Gonzalez is a question mark. Why am I saying this? Is Gonzalez a bad player? No. Gonzalez is not a terrible player, is not a bad player. But what you need from Gonzalez as a Kaizer Chiefs football club. Now I'm talking about, there's a difference. When I talk PSL, I talk PSL. When I talk Kaizer Chiefs, I talk Kaizer Chiefs. Is Gonzalez good for PSL? 100%. Gonzalez can go and do well at TS Galaxy. Gonzalez can go and do well at Amazulu. Gonzalez can go and do well Polokwane City, etc., etc. Even maybe Cape Town City, Gonzalez can do well there. But is Gonzalez good enough for Kaizer Chiefs? No. Why am I saying this? Because there's certain elements in his game that are very bad. The first chance of the game, Saile gets the ball, he's running out. Gonzalez is jogging to the pole. Saile crosses the ball, Gonzalez is not there. Another thing I'll address is that Gonzalez, as much as I'm giving him a hard time, but I also have to admit that the people he's playing with around him don't have brains. Saile dribbles the last man instead of just hitting it on the floor on the ground for Gonzalez to hit a tap in. Where does Saile kick the ball? In the air. Saile has that problem. One thing I'll say that Kevin Johnson has fixed about Saile is that he's slowing down his thinking process. He's no longer just like kicking, but he still has it in his game, because Kevin Johnson can't fix Saile in about 2 to 3 months. He needs to keep cooking Osaile, and there's not enough preseason or not enough time for you to like cook him in one go. You kind of have to cook him in bites, because now the season is going. You need to pick up points, so you have to cook him gancane gancane. So Saile is starting to get better, more composed. So a lot of you are going to say, hey, Saile was wasting position. But what a lot of you won't see is that Saile is starting to think more, even if his final decision isn't always perfect, like that pass he tried to give Modi. If it was Saile of the past, he was not going to pass Modi. He was going to go and kick the ball and try finish, So it's small things that I'm seeing that his game is developing. But yeah, and then Dupree came in, they made Dupree a winger. I didn't like that. And you guys know how I feel about this. When you make Dupree a winger, and it's good, yes, because he can beat players, etc. But it's predictable. It's predictable. Why do I say this? When you have Dupree as a winger, don't put Saile can think as a number 9. Saile is not good enough to play number 9. But Dupree can play as a number 9. And what a lot of you are going to say, no, but Dupree can't hold up play. And then I'm saying, when Dupree comes in the game, you don't play system of hold up play. You play system of Dupree run behind. from the center, not from just the sides with Sahili, etc. If we have players running behind, it creates space for who? Ngobo. Pick up spaces. What do I mean by this? First goal that Ngobo scored, the goal that Ngobo scored, what happened in that chance? Gonzalez ran behind the defenders. The defenders had to follow Gonzalez. It created space for Ungobo. Ungobo got closer to the box, took a shot, goal. But if it was Ranga does not run behind players. Ranga would want to stand with a defender, and then the closer Ungobo gets, the more they close him down. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Overall, second half, we saw introduction of players, Zwane. You know what, Zwane, I am going to have the same criticism of Zwane that I'm going to have of Ngob. Zwane had decent touches here and there. Mashiana, I don't even want to talk. He almost made us concede the last a goal in the last minutes because he passed the wrong player. But this is what I'll say about Samkelo Zwane. When you get a chance to play, you need to own the midfield. One thing I will say, I wish, sometimes I wish you guys, I try to write notes and stuff, but I have just too many thoughts that I have when I'm thinking about this. Like another thing is like, Umad. Matt is such a negative midfielder. When they pass Matt the ball and he has to turn and go, his instinct is to pass the ball back. He hasn't even looked at who's open. He passes the ball back. The moment he passes the ball back to the player, spaces close. Matt, why aren't you going forward? Matt kills so many attacking opportunities. Matt is a negative in our team. And I'm not trying to be negative about Matt or try like I'm being very critical. But having watched this game with a lot of detail, I'll tell you this. Umad is negative. Like Matt, when we move forward and Matt has the ball, his first thought is like, I have to play safe. This thing rubs off on Ngobo because Ngobo does the same thing now, and we all know Ngobo from development when he started playing for Chiefs was very attacking. Defensive, no. Very attacking, but now they are negative. One thing I'll say is that our defense is doing well when under attack. They weren't great today. I will say this. Like they allowed crosses to come in and all that, but they dealt with it. Like this thing of us being beaten on the last post. Yes, we're still getting beaten. Like sometimes the players do get out there, but we always find the second ball. But overall, I'll say this. If we are, I looked at this game and then I'm like, what is the difference? The difference is that Kaizer Chiefs is finally beating the teams we were expected to beat. That's a plus. Tick mark, we're beating the players we meant to beat. Tick mark, we're using the ball properly. Bad mark, our midfield is not functioning still. Bad mark, our strikers are not functioning still. We are beating players because we have better players than those teams we are beating. What do I mean by that? We have better players than Morocco Swallows. We have better players than Polokwane City. We have better players than Cape Town Spurs. We have better players than who else can I say? Today when we were playing Richards Bay, we were better players than Richards Bay. All of these guys that we've played, we have better players in, meaning that we have enough structure. Kevin Johnson is making us play with structure. So we are now pound for pound beating teams by having better players. But these teams we're beating aren't the most well-structured teams. They try to beat you by having individual brilliance, etc., etc. So now these teams are not beating us all the time. And sometimes I even feel sorry for a coach like Arthur Zwane because the way our defense and our playing is so well structured now. If Arthur Zwane was still there as a coach, I think we would score many goals. But because Arthur Zwane's game was too fast, you could see now Chiefs game now is not fast at all. Sometimes it's very annoyingly slow. Like when we started playing this game against Richards Bay, I asked myself, if Chiefs is playing this slow, they are playing into the hands of Richards Bay. Richards Bay, for them, a draw is a win. So if Chiefs continue to play slow, Richards Bay don't mind. Because Bona Bafuna a point to them as a win. So they're like, Chiefs can play slow. So that's one thing I'll say. Like guys, I don't like I know this video is going to be long. There's a lot of things I'm still gonna analyze in this game and do ratings tomorrow and all of that. But I will say this, guys. I am not happy with how we're playing currently, but I'm happy with the results. Meaning what I can live with what we are doing right now. Beating the teams who are meant to beat, even if it looks ugly. I can live with it. I can go to bed, grand, you know, then us losing, but we then look fancy losing. You know what? Sometimes 3 points is good. But what I'll say is this. We are good enough. It's good that we are beating these small teams, but we are not good enough to compete for anything. We are not. When our midfield comprises of Amat, when our midfield comprises of Abongobo, who are in the squad, like I'm going to be very critical of Nkosi despite scoring the goal. Ungobo is in the squad because he has potential, not that he's doing well. Because he has potential. Let me tell you this. If Chiefs had signed a player like let's say a player similar to Simpio Shabala, let's say a player similar to Tiko Modise, Tembazwane, Ngobo would sit bench the whole season. Why am I saying this? Because Ngobo is not operating to own the midfield. The midfield is for him. But yena agaitat, he doesn't want to take it. I'm disappointed in a lot of individual players. Tomorrow I'll jump into all the individual players more and give my verdict on that. But yeah, I wanted to add that. And also Dove. Dove must stop being fancy sometimes at the back. One day is going to cost us. It was good seeing Solomon's back. It was good seeing Potsani back. Chiefs didn't tell us these guys were injured, but apparently they were injured. So now they are back in the squad. It was, yeah. And then also Dupree, it was good to see Dupree back. But I will say this sometimes. I don't want Dupree to play on the wing for me. And I'll say this. Dupree is going to get injured on the wing, guys. Let us play Dupree through the middle. The wing is very difficult. If you have played soccer before and someone said, be a winger, I'm telling you, you will work there. The amount of times you're going to run up and down that line, there's no rest lapa on the wing. And Dupree, with the amount of muscle injuries that he gets, he won't rest. Me, what I want from Dupree, I want Dupree to be as direct to the poles as possible. I want him to be as close to the poles as possible. This thing of playing on the wing, it means he has to work to get into the pole. And who does that remind you of? Kama Billiard. Kama Billiard had to always work to get into the poles of Chiefs because he used to play on the wings. And he didn't have the players to help get him there. So he had the same issues of Dupree, where he would get muscle injuries because he has to overwork to get to the box. That's why I say Dupree must play as the number one striker. And we must take away this thing of playing a hold-up striker. There must be no hold-up. This hold-up thing is a waste of time. First 35 minutes with Ungobo playing nonsense, with Gonzalez not being in the game, it was like we were playing 9 men against 11. And then with Matt even losing balls every 5 minutes, it felt like we were playing 8 men against 11 because these guys were not functioning. So that's what I have to say about the game. I am not happy about the game, but you guys let me know. And yeah, I'm Amakhosi for life. Yeah, Amakhosi.